15-year-old Rachel Geraldine Pratt disappeared from the home in Garden City, Kansas that she shared with her mother, stepfather, and 7 younger siblings. Rachel's mother contacted the Garden City Police Department on January 16, 1995. We know that one is a fact. Rachel's case has passed through multiple hands of investigators who all agree Rachel vanished under suspicious circumstances 30 years ago. We're hoping by sharing this information that we've collected over the past 2 years with community input, reviewing previous interviews, recreating events of Rachel's disappearance, and multiple months of research, this might spark something in someone's memory for them to come forward and finally provide some pieces as to what happened to Rachel Pratt leading up to January 16th, 1995. The turmoil began for Rachel when she was caught shoplifting a pregnancy test from a local Walmart. Her mother, Jan Ramirez, was notified by police. When Jan confronted Rachel demanding who was the father, Rachel named an 18-year-old boy she had been seeing. After a confrontation with the boy and his family, Jan filed charges of statutory rape with the local police. An unwilling Rachel was due to testify against the father of her child. In an interview with Cake News, Jan Ramirez told interviewers that 2 weeks after the filing of the police report on Sunday, January 15, 1995, Rachel had played in a jazz band concert. Jan had to work the night shift, but was able to see her daughter perform. She reminisced about how proud she was about Rachel and how happy she was that she had been able to see Rachel play before going into work. Her description was still vivid in her memory. However, we dug into the exact events of that weekend, and the concert from the newspaper articles show that it was actually on the 14th, not the 15th. That might be a small detail for some people. However, considering the Garden City Police Department wasn't notified until the 16th that Rachel had gone missing, that timeline can be everything. We are hoping anyone might be able to come forward who might remember the last time they saw or spoke with Rachel to help develop a better timeline. Jan does go on to state that while at work, the rest of the family, including Rachel's stepfather, had settled in to watch a movie. She makes a point to let us know Rachel's room is in the basement. And at some point in time, her brother had accidentally set fire to a roll-out mattress in that basement. The fire had been big enough that the basement was quite smoky. They then settled in to watch the Swiss Family Robinson, which again, according to the TV listings from that time, that was on January 14th, 1995. During an interview with Annette Lawless, Jan tells her that she tries to call home a few times to check in on the kids. Mind you, this is in the middle of the night, around midnight. The stepfather is at home at the time, but the phone line is continuously busy. After calling multiple times and it's still going busy, Jan decides to go home at 2 a.m. When Jan arrives at home, she finds her son alone, sleeping on the couch, and she asks, "Where's Rachel?" And that I found in an early interview. And she said that she was concerned Rachel might be sleeping in this smoky basement. Rachel's brother says he had fallen asleep during the Swiss Family Robinson movie and he had no idea where Rachel was. Jan begins looking around the house for Rachel, but Rachel can't be found anywhere. Jan's not too concerned because all of Rachel's belongings are there. The only thing missing was Rachel's coat. Jan thinking maybe Rachel snuck out with friends, snuck out to go see that boyfriend. So she decides to wait up all night for Rachel to come home. In her interviews, Jan says she waits up until the next day on the 16th, and that's when she decides to call police. She says it's unusual for her daughter to stay off all night. In early investigations, Rachel's case was treated as a runaway. She says the police never came to her house. They never pointedly, she says, go downstairs where she kept her clothes. If this is correct, this is troubling. It means police have never looked inside the Ramirez home. Key pieces of evidence could be missed. She says the police never actually actively looked for Rachel until they began making missing flyers for Rachel Pratt. Again, the family home was never searched. Jan Ramirez says that. And that statutory rape case, that was dropped because Rachel was never around to testify. In 2018, the Garden City Police Department detectives fly to California to interview Rennie Pratt, Rachel's sister, because she was convicted of voluntary manslaughter of her boyfriend, Michael Porcella. Detectives follow up with Rennie throughout the years. And this is interesting because Rennie, in the court documents, it's found that she'd been texting an ex, and during her texting, she had attempted to take her own life because she had been very troubled about the point that her stepfather had been having inappropriate sexual behavior with one of her sisters. What this shows is that the Garden City Police Department is not leaving any lead on the table. They are following up on anything. If you want to know more about Rennie Pratt's case, you can find it on an episode of Snapped, Season 9, Episode 12. I don't bring any of this up to say we should focus on the family or we should focus on the boyfriend. We should focus on everything and anybody, because everything is a focus. Every detail matters, no matter how small it is. If you have information that could help in this case, contact the Garden City Police Department at 620-276-1300. If you wish to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 620-275-7807 or text tip to GCPD at GCTIP and then your tip to tip at 411 or 847-4111. Since Rachel's disappearance, her social security number has never been used. There is no evidence she has ever given birth. Anyone by her description has ever given birth. Rachel's whereabouts remain a mystery. Rachel has many family members and friends who wonder every day where she might be. They need answers. The not knowing is so much harder. Playing out multiple scenarios and searching every day is heartbreaking. Garden City Police Department is leaving no stone unturned in this investigation. If you have any information, anything you can do to help, we have had so many people in the community reaching out with Rachel's case recently. We have had so much that is picking up in her case. So now is the time, people. This is a time where cold cases are heating up. So if you have anything, nothing is too small. Let's pick it up and let's get these cases solved and let's find Rachel Pratt.